Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nur Anisa binti Abdullah and I would like to present about final year project which is Teacher Record Management System. For background of study, as we knew, the world is facing the new pandemic called COVID-19. Since that, everything is changing, including the education system. In order to help in controlling the spread of the coronavirus, the government began closing all the schools and universities across the country that was announced by the Prime Minister in each country to avoid the crowded. At first, the school was only postponed for a month, but over time the period became so long and until now, they do not know when the best time is to reopen the school, given that in the period of PDPR, there are some important things that needs to be resolved, such as final exam, must be conducted in the hall. School closures are indeed having a bad influence on children, especially children who have just entered year 1 of school. It has completely changed the existing school system, for example, changing the way of teaching where it must be done online, that in line with government demands and the current situation. As for problem statements, there are some problems that faces in PDPR, such as the teacher had a hard time to update learning record in manually for every learning session. As we informed that every teacher has their own tick book called Buku Record Pembelajaran. The teacher needs to carry the books for every class they attend and even to the canteen. The BRP might be lost and the teacher also might be forgot to update the record learning since they are focused on deliver the lessons to the class. Second is for pengajaran and pembelajaran di rumah PDPR, the teachers only use Google Form to update their learning record, which the record will be received by KPM. In this situation, the teachers only filling up the Google Form, which they did not know any record copy to they keep for the next references if they want to use later. Last but not least, the teacher might be forgot to bring their BRP during class lessons. So the teacher needs to write the record of lesson in a piece of paper where the paper may be missing. It could be that the teacher forgot about the paper, so the teacher must recall what is taught in each class since the teacher has to teach many classes. Next, for objective of the system, first is to build a teacher record management system, TRMS, that can ease the record process of the schools. Second is to develop website as a platform for teacher to submit the record learning to the KPM. Third is to help the teachers save the record data efficiently using a website. For project scope, there are user, which is the system only can access by teachers. Second is platform, which is the project can be accessed by any device only if it has searched the internet. Third is features. Some of the features might be in the project are the section for teacher to record the daily lesson for each subject, the page for the teacher to display all the student names in specific class. Next is for literature review, which is the chapter is about finding the related article that's suitable with the research project. In this chapter, the developer will simply explain about the BRP workflow. The related study for the research will be guidance to produce a good project. So the first is book record pembelajaran, known as BRP. BRP is a manual type of system to record the attendance and to write the report for every lesson in each class. The BRP is very thick and heavy because the teacher needs to bring the BRP to enter every single class. The teacher cannot leave the BRP because it is very important to write a lesson report since the report will be seen by the headmaster. Since we had faced the COVID-19 pandemic, the Kementerian Pelajaran Malaysia used a Google Form to help the teacher fill their record for online class. Then, the Google Form will be received directly by KPM. Next is management. If the COVID-19 does not end. So the first is social distancing. The word of social distancing refers to an action that can reduce the rate of infection among students, teachers, and others. The student and teacher will allow to bring their own face mask, hand sanitizer, plastic glove, and other related protection equipment to the school. This social distancing in the school can help to prevent the infection at early stage. Everyone needs to play a role in overcoming this pandemic among schools. Next is a challenge. The challenge is about the challenge in a school during the pandemic. First is personalized children books and empathy. These include book delivery during COVID-19 pandemic due to the reduction of post service. This resulted in significant delays in the planned distribution of books to children. As a result, the date children receive their book is close to the deadline in kindergarten before they start elementary school. Second is expanding children's digital books with the Corona ebook. The sudden increase in traffic was a challenge for our small administration team, with some requests not being followed up for weeks. There are strong desire from user groups to upload children's story to the Corona ebook website, which we are unable to fulfill because there was not enough space to review and store their space on the university server. The last is transfer from face-to-face to online. Conducting focus group interview from a distance in the former experience for us as well as our participants. Based on recommendation of university IT department, we use the Zoom platform, which is a low on-screen recording indicated by the red flashing button when it is active. For the web-based system, according to the researcher, web-based application is a valuable tool for the business because it allows the manager to track the performance records of individual workers, can manage the passenger or cargo transportation, monitoring the financial processes, and working with the payroll based on Team 2020. For example, online payment system, car rental, booking hotel, and others. So the advantage is a cross-platform and universally accessible, where it can be accessed anywhere and anytime to make sure the device have the access to the internet connection to use the website. Second, it is allow the user to use less money to develop the web-based application. This is because the web-based application can be run on any platform. It is also available to all the operating system in mobile and desktop. Last, web-based application is secure to use because the user just needs to use the browser rather than needs to install the new software on their computers. So the web-based application is more friendly to use in future. Next is programming language. There are two categories of programming language, which is front-end language. Front-end language is such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is used to create the web page by writing down the words that needs to be used on the page. It's also allowing the use of element and tag to the browser. Second is back-end language. For example, is PHP. The advantage of PHP is an open source and free. Second is also lower cost to code the programming. It can be downloaded anywhere and easy to use. The tool that PHP also needs a free software to write the code, which is Notepad++. And the PHP have the independent platform. The platform can be used at any operating system such as Linux, Unix, and Windows. Besides, the PHP will help the developer to manage the code efficiently. Last, the PHP is low maintenance cost with higher performance and reliability. For methodology, I choose waterfall model, which is a sequential model that have many different phases. The phases have their own task and objective. The method will help the developer to build a system that meets the requirement. The phases need to be done one by one before continuing the next phases. In this issue, we can avoid the overlapping situation. As for design of methodology, we have system planning, system analysis, system design, system implementation, system support, and security. So, in the system planning, system planning is the first stage in waterfall model. The stage involves the session that needs to meet the stakeholder to gather the information for the project. The stakeholder help in gather all the information, which is the developer be able to complete the stage. In this situation, the developer use informal interview session by using the WhatsApp conversation to get all the information from stakeholders. Here, the problem statement is identified. So the developer can create the objective for the project. The objective become the guide to the developer to complete the project. Also, the developer can get the scope for the project system. Second, system analysis. System analysis is a stage that can help developer to complete the requirement, which known as software requirement specification, SRS. Here, the developer will have the functional requirement that needs to develop a system that we get from the informal interview session with the stakeholder. The functional requirement deals with scope of the system, business function, and the structure of the data. As for non-functional requirement, it focuses on quality of the system, which is usability, security, and performance. In this stage, the developer needs to clear all the requirements to help the developer build a system that will meet the requirement who is given by stakeholders. Here, the developer can achieve the objective of the system. Next is system design. System design is a third phase in waterfall model. The system design that will create the physical model, which is need to be documented requirement in the previous phase. Here, the project development will start. In this phase, the user interface needs to be pointed out. The user interface, also known as appearance of the system, that must be suitable with the project and the functions that the system needs. Here, the using of color become one of the important things where the color use must appropriate with the system and meets the characteristic of the good website or system. So the database needs to be designed. The developer needs entity relationship diagram, ERD, to make sure all the entities are correct. In ERD, there are tables that will consist of primary key and foreign key to make sure the link between the table is correct. Next is system implementation. Is a fourth phase of waterfall model where the system is created. It is involved the development team such as the programmer, interface designer, and others. The phase also will deliver a complete function system that will be tally with system design. The developer must build it based on requirement in analysis phase and design phase. So the teacher record management system will develop the system by using PHP, HTML, MySQL, and XAMPP server, which is to run the localhost for the website until the system is ready to use. The last is system support and security. The final piece in waterfall model is system support and security, which is also known as system maintenance. In this phase, it requires progressing upkeep, usually to form beyond any doubt the program is working at ideal level of execution. This may be concerned with by within computer program security issue or to address that have as it has come to light when the modern framework was executed. There are four types of maintenance. First is corrective maintenance that deal with the error from the software. Second, adaptive maintenance for add any new features, capabilities, and enhancement. Third is preventive maintenance that used to improve the features efficiently. Last is preventive maintenance that help to reduce the possibility of the future system failure, which can make sure all the problem or error efficiently managed. Next is for technology involvement, which is it is discuss about all the hardware and software that will be used to complete the project, which is can help the system run smoothly. First is hardware requirement. The teacher record management system use laptop owner, which Ryzen 5 processor, Windows 10 operating system, and 8 GB RAM. For the software requirements, the teacher record management system will use Google Chrome as a medium to help the project complete, which can use to find the related article or any material that's suitable with project matters. Second is Notepad++, is used to write the code and in PHP language or HTML language to build the system. Third is XAMPP server. The server is used to create the database and manage the database that keep all the details for the project. The software also connects with MySQL and PHP. Next is Google Drive. The Google Drive is used to keep all the document and also as a backup file for teacher record management system. The last is Draw.io, which is the software is used to draw and build the diagram such as ERD. The last is for conclusion. As for conclusion, the developer develops the teacher record management system to help the teacher keep the record data to avoid missing. The developer choose to build up the system using Notepad++ software. It is also to make sure that all the development meets the objective of the system.